Good afternoon, BSAC community. And as another week of distance learning draws to a close, so does the holy month of Ramadan. And this has got me thinking the importance of Ramadan. And normally it's a time where there's a lot of contemplation, a lot of thought. There's also a time when we socialise and bring people together and share our joys. And a time for this time of socialising, it's actually, for this year, it's unique because it's social distancing, and that's been a real challenge for many of you, well, for all of us in fact. So I think that has put a different perspective on the holy month of Ramadan in terms of that coming together. But what I know has definitely come through and continues to come through is the true spirit of Ramadan and the kindness that we share with each other. And I think this year, in my time in the Middle East, which has been now 24 years, it's been a time when I've really noticed the kindness. And I think the kindness of our community as well has come through. We have a great community. I'll say we have a great community, and that's before this pandemic and this change of circumstance. But I actually think now the community is significant. It's moved from great to significant, and I'm seeing so many acts of kindness during the week. Between students, between staff, between parents, between families, and I want to thank you for that. That really means a lot, and you get emotional when you hear about these things. So I've just been on a conference call to COBIS, Council of British International Schools, and we were talking about things that have stood out in positive ways about this challenging situation. And I think the community and its coming together and looking out for one another is tremendous. I talked about it briefly last week, but I've really contemplated on that, and to see that this week, it's something special, and I think it's special for BSAC. I have a weekly catch up with my family in the UK, my brother, my sister, one of my cousins, all my nieces and nephews, and it's a really special time. And again, talking about family coming together is brilliant, and it's a real highlight of my week. And again, last couple of weeks, my mum's internet has been broken, so at 87 years old, it's been very difficult to get her involved. But yesterday, when I logged on, she was the first there before everybody else, and it was just absolute joy to see my mum's smiling face and the pride she had when the grandchildren all wished her a good evening and hello, because we're missing each other. And I'm sure that's the same for all of us. So, do try and make sure you reach out to your families and try and make that connectivity where you can. It's so important. It's also the things that you think about when you have this sort of time. There's lots of things that we can put down as negatives, and we can't do this, we can't do that. And I know there's further restrictions coming in the next few days, and there's some guidance come out from the government back to an earlier evening lockdown curfew and things like that. And I'm sure some people will see that as a negative in terms of it's restrictive, but I'm looking at it in terms of it's for the good of our health, it's for the good of our well-being, and I think it's something we have to accept, but also think about it as it's in our own interest. So please do read that guidance carefully and do stick to it. I know it's a challenge, but please do, because in the long run, it's for the good of all of us. In my newsletter this week, we have a new student leadership team in secondary, so good luck to those. I'm sure you'll all join me in congratulating all of the post holders, and also all of those who put themselves forward to become one of the student leaders. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself forward, but with the rigorous process, we feel we've got the right team. But well done to everybody who got involved in coming forward, and good luck to that team moving forward. And you'll see the names in my newsletter. Also, I want to make a huge acknowledgement for the outgoing team. Not the best way to finish your tenure, but I will say that you have done a tremendous job in bringing that student leadership profile to a higher level. And I think the challenge for the new leadership team, I always say to them, your job is to be better than the last group. And that's not to say the last group were bad, it's just to say we've got to keep improving all the time. That's my philosophy. But for me now, for this new student leadership team, their job is something unique. And it's about bringing that BSAC community back together and that BSAC spirit and making sure that's at the pinnacle of what we do. So I know you'll all join me in congratulating them, but I know you'll also join me in making sure that they're successful in that task. As I mentioned at the very beginning, the holy month of Ramadan is coming to an end, so I would like to finish by saying to you all Eid Mubarak, and also stay safe and have a good weekend and step away from those screens. Thank you very much.